Hello, this is Ryan McDonald, and this is Creating a Digital Marketing Agency, Episode 2. All right, since the last Creating a Digital Marketing Agency podcast or documentary, whatever you want to call it, I mean, quite a few things have happened. I met up with somebody down in Pompano Beach, Florida, who was featured in Gary Vaynerchuk's new book called Crushing It, and I did a review on that book, and apparently it's like my most popular YouTube video so far. Go figure. You have something about Gary Vaynerchuk and it's popular. And so met up with him. His name is Rodrigo Tasco. Cool guy, grinding it out with a video production company. He does good work. His company's called Tasco Studios. Met up with him, and the purpose of the meeting was twofold. One was to find a video production company nearby for myself and my clients. You know, I'm not an expert video maker, and I don't claim to be, but my clients do need video creative built, and I'm not the right guy to do it. So I wanted to find someone nearby that could do that work. And two, I just wanted to meet another like-minded guy who was all in on his passion. That was the main thing, just to find a fellow business friend who, and it's gonna sound weird, and it's gonna be super weird if he sees this, business friend. Yeah, so met him, had lunch with him, cool guy. I had a project for him, but I don't think that project is going to go through. I sent this guy a proposal for a nonprofit, and I believe that my price scared him off, which is fine. I'm not going to do work for, I'm not going to tie up my time with services. It can always be a race to the bottom. It can always be a race to the bottom. Are you going to, and sometimes price tells quality, right? I do quality work. I have pride for what I do. I view what I do as my trade. This is my trade. This is what I've dedicated a large portion of my life to. And I'm not about to join that race to the bottom of that just ends up with me outsourcing people in India for, $1.25 an hour. I'm not going to play that game. That's not the service I provide. What I provide is expert fucking service at whatever I do, which is typically online advertising, SEO, CRO, just digital marketing, right? Digital marketing, whether that's on the traffic acquisition side or the website side. And I only partner with people who can get the job done and get it done in a quality manner. That's why if somebody says, hey, I need you to redo my website, but I can only afford $3,000, out of luck, man. Out of luck. Go to freelancer.com or whatever you want to call it. Find some guy in India, or where's another popular place? Belarus, Eastern Europe. There's a lot of people outsource a lot of development work to Eastern Europe, which is fine if you want to go that route. It's cheaper. It's cheaper, right? I get it. As someone who owns their own business, I understand the idea for let's get this for as cheaply as possible. But when you're talking about advertising, when you're talking about doing things that should and will transform your business, and you're giving this person an enormous responsibility, now not just with like an advertising budget or with your website, which is the face of your brand in 2018, the face of it. If you have a shitty website, people are going to assume you're a shitty brand. It's just it. It's just it. You can't have a crappy website in 2018 and expect to have people think well of you. And I know, and a concept that I've been working with is that a website's never done. Never done. It should never be done, right? There's no point. You don't make a website and think, whew, check, that's done. No. No, that's not how it's done in 2018. This isn't 2003 where, okay, let's check that we have a website box. No. Your website is your digital storefront, your digital footprint, and why would you ever stop improving on it? With as important the internet is today, why would you stop improving on it? Laziness, lack of technical capability. There's probably a whole host of reasons that people, stop improving on their website, or they view having a website, boom, that's good. It's not good. It's not good. You should be constantly tweaking, testing, updating things on your website. I mean, how many business owners or website webmasters, whatever you want to call it, haven't updated their website in a year? How many? Guarantee it's a large number, a very large number. And that's just not acceptable in 2018. And where I'm going with this is that you get the quality that you pay for. You get the quality that you pay for. Pure and simple. You want someone with 6 years of experience managing $1 million a month budgets, who has created lead generation programs that went from 0 leads a day to 3,000 leads a day in 3 months. And in those 3 months created multi-tiered attribution and optimized around cost per lead to get the lowest cost per lead and lowest cost per sale that the company has ever had. Right? That experience is not cheap. Doubling an e-commerce company from 50 million to 100 million, that experience isn't cheap. It's not cheap. And so I'm determined not to play those pricing games. And if I lose clients in the meantime, so be it. I'm not racing to the bottom. I'm just not. I'm putting a fucking flag down and I'm saying, it is what it is. You'll be lucky if I want to work with you. And that's a super arrogant thing to think. But I know what I bring to the table. I know the value that I bring to the table. I know the value that Shade Digital brings to our clients, right? And so if you want the cheapest service, we're not it. And, I just did my reporting on my first month, and I'm measuring like 12 or 14 different KPIs on a monthly basis. I created 8 proposals in January. One of those was signed in January. I've got a few more that I believe are going to close in February. Not a great close rate, but again, I'm not the cheapest, and I'm also not the best salesperson. Not the best salesperson. I've sold things before, obviously. Sold something in January. But I'm not some guy who... I'm not going to sell the unsellable. You get what you get. If you want it, it's right here. If you want to improve your online exposure, your digital, your traffic to your website, or improve your website, get better at analytics and using the data to optimize your online presence and your traffic profile, right here. Right fucking here. Okay? But yeah, some of these, and granted, some of these organizations, I have sympathy, right? I've just started my own business. I don't have the biggest budget to do a lot of things. And there's so many things that need attention and so little money to go around and for me to live off of, right? That I completely empathize with business owners now who, I used to judge people slightly, right? Like, oh man, it's 2016 and their website was built in 2001. What the heck? Something like that. And if the business owner doesn't have any digital first talent in the organization and they're not particularly savvy when it comes to that world, I completely get it now. I completely understand. No more judgment coming from me. I completely understand. There are so many things a business owner has to worry about, that and almost an unlimited number of things that could take resources or could be improved, that sometimes digital strategy is just not at the top of their mind. And I get it now. So that was a long-winded rant. Cool thing that happened to me in the last week or whenever I last did one of these. So an old friend of mine went full-time on his business, Joe Monjo, like a year ago or something like that. And his model is it's thought-provoking. It's thought-provoking, I'll say that. So he's in the same boat, relatively same industry. He wants to focus more on organizational problems, like call center issues, time to respond to leads, lead flow, user flow, things like that, customer journey, mapping that out, improving upon it. And so he started Jomanjo to focus on that. And in the meantime, he's doing some marketing related stuff as well, because it goes hand in hand. I mean, right? A lot of things in business go hand in hand. So anyways, the unique thing about this is his model for talent. So unlike hiring people locally or putting a help wanted thing on his website or doing something like that, no, he is handpicking his team, and and his team is entirely made up of consultants or contractors, right? So he picks people that he knows personally that are at the top of their game, whether that's e-commerce, whether that's CRO, whether that's digital advertising or website design or development, whatever. So he's building a network of hand-picked people who are at the fucking top of their game, top of the game. And I know this guy, he knows me, obviously, and he's aware of my work. And he asked me to be a part of the Jomanjo network. And it looks like we've got a potentially very large client right off the bat. And I don't know when this is going to be sold. I don't know when it's going to close or anything like that. It sounds like the pitch meeting is going to happen sometime in February. I just got done working on the expansion plan for the company, and I'm pumped up about it. There is a lot of things that could improve to take them to that next level, to double the company in 12 months, 18 months. I fully believe that with Shea Digital, Jomanjo, whatever, his network of consultants, that we could 100% double this company. And that's exciting. It's really exciting. It's exciting stuff. So that would be great to land that client. That would be fantastic. And I'm coming across a lot of people in the proposal design process that say, hey, want to work with you, all this stuff. And I say, okay, so what's your budget? Right? Give me an idea. I can't come up with a marketing plan for you unless you tell me what you're willing to play around with. Because the same company's marketing plan looks extraordinarily different if you're talking about $100,000 a month or $10,000 a month, right? And if you say to me, put down whatever it takes, and I can see how, if you're not familiar with how this works, that seems like a reasonable thing to say, right? You're the expert, you pick the budget. It's terrible. It's terrible, because I have no idea your level of comfort between $10,000 or $100,000 a month. And I can't properly design a plan unless you let me know that budget. I just can't. You know, I can, when people say, do whatever it takes, or whatever you think is best, I try real hard to get a number from them. Because when I hear do whatever's best, I think, oh, sweet, let's do this, let's go big. And then I give them this marketing plan that that's $50,000 a month, and they currently only spend $5,000, and they bulk at it like, oh my God. And it's like, well, you told me whatever it takes. You know, if you wanted a marketing plan built around $5,000 or $10,000 a month, I can do that. It just looks way different than this one right here, you know? So if you're working with an agency, don't tell them. Be precise with your budget. Or at least in the ballpark. Give me a ballpark. Say $25,000 a month-ish. $200,000 a month-ish. If you say, do whatever, I'm going to come up with something, and it's going to be big, but I don't know if it's big enough. I don't know if it's too small, right? Because if an organization gives me $200,000 and they say, Ryan, figure out a way to turn this into $1 million a month, I can 100% do that, but I need to know how much ad spend I'm playing with, right? And I need to. It puts me in an impossible situation to figure out the right marketing plan for organization if they don't give me the parameters to play around with. Give me the edges of the playpen, and I will go into that playpen and make the sweetest fort ever, you know, or whatever you want to call it. But these vague budgets with vague goals, that's another thing. And it makes my job so super easy, but it's terrible for the organization. I'll say, hey, what cost per sale are you looking for? What cost per lead are you looking for? Is there a lead efficiency? Like, we need to close 20% of leads, you know, whatever. I need those parameters. I need those goals. You know, without those goals, then it becomes like, if you don't have a target, how do you know when you hit it, right? I need to hear $20 cost per sale. Cool, that gives me a target, something I can optimize my work around. Or if you say, hey, we want $200,000 a month in revenue from this, cool, that gives me a target to hit, right? Give me a revenue target, give me an efficiency target, right? Everything I do on the traffic acquisition side, and also on the website side, but it's either built around increasing revenue or increasing efficiency or both. But in order to increase, increasing revenue is pretty standard, but to hit your organization's targets, I need those parameters of that playpen. I need walls to guide me down. If you say nothing, if you say, hey, we just need sales, hey, we just need leads, okay, I'll get you sales and I'll get you leads. And unless you specify a cost per lead, a cost per sale, I'm going to assume that it's all good, right? It's all good. And so is every other marketing agency out there, right? If you tell your marketing agency, hey, I need sales, and that's it, they'll get you sales probably, assuming they know what they're doing, but you're not going to be happy. And the work is not going to be as good as it could be without knowing the parameters that the client wants. Yeah. What else to talk about? What else happened? This is going to turn into pet peeves, But so I launch this campaign, and within 3 days I was asked for an update on it, which is reasonable, but just know that it takes time to collect data and to optimize things. And the way to think about it is not in terms of dollars spent, but in clicks or traffic generated. So I don't think of, okay, we've got a sample size of $1,000. No, I think in terms of, okay, we have a sample size of 200 clicks. The interactions are what count, not the money spent. The money spent is just like a byproduct of doing this. But the number of clicks or the number of impressions, that is the sample size I'm looking for, to which I can determine optimizing around, right? I don't optimize based on, okay, they've spent this much, it's time to really dive in here and to fix any issues or whatever. I think, okay, this campaign's had 200 clicks since I first launched it. Let's dive in. Now that we have okay, and 200 clicks might be, and the sample size varies too, depending on the proper sample size for clicks varies depending on quite a few variables, right? So I'm throwing out 200 as a placeholder, but just know that the proper sample size is 100% based on on variables related to a certain business or to a certain traffic channel or to so many different things determine what counts as a statistically significant sample size. So don't just think, 200 clicks, let's jump in. No. But anyways, be patient is my call to action. Be patient when you launch a campaign, when you start a brand new program. Be patient. These things take time to develop, and over that time, things get better. Things rarely, when you start a brand new campaign, rarely does it come out of the gates firing on all cylinders and just knocking these goals out of the park. Rarely happens, right? Campaigns should get better over time. It just should. Assuming people are putting in the proper work, things get better over time. So you gotta give whoever's managing your campaigns or your digital marketing, gotta give them the time and the slack to get things going, right? So it's another important thing. So what else is going on? From a digital marketing standpoint? I got 7 YouTube subscribers. That's cool. That's cool. Like 2 weeks ago, I had 0. So that's neat. That's neat to see that growth. And I find that, man, so I used to write. I used to want to be a writer when I was 15 to 17. And I did. I wrote for several publications. I worked for my city's newspaper in high school, worked full-time in the summer as a journalist, work as a columnist during the school year. And a columnist would put out like 2 pieces a week or 1 piece a week, and then as a journalist I'd put out several pieces a week. And so I used to love writing, and I still like writing, but I find it's so much better filming. I have so much more passion for my YouTube channel than my blog, and that's sad. I'm finding it hard to sit down and knock out a 1,000-word blog post, a 1,500-word blog post, and I don't even want to do the 500-word blog post just because I can't delve deep enough into an issue. Whereas if I film myself, put it on YouTube, it stays up there, and I don't know, I'm having little inspiration for writing and more inspiration for getting this right, for getting the video right. And I think video is going to be the platform of the future as opposed to content. I still read a ton of stuff, but my video consumption, my internet video consumption's gone way up. And I'm sure yours has too. And so I think long term, this is the platform, video is the medium, that's gonna make a difference. That's gonna long term make a difference. But I still gotta be putting out blog posts. I need to get better at that. I put out 6 in January. If I put out 6 a month, that's what, 72 a year, 72 blog posts a year. And it just takes more time to put out a blog post, and it takes more effort. And granted, I should be putting more effort into these videos, right? I should be editing them. But that'll come. But yeah, it takes more effort, takes more thought. You know, I put a camera on, I give myself a topic, and I talk. And that just seems to be way easier. The other thing I want to talk about in my last video and in my Gary Vaynerchuk Crushing It book review, I hinted at starting an Alexa skill for Shade Digital. And I looked into doing it. And I can't decide if it looks hard or if it looks easy. On the surface level, you would think, oh shit, programming an Alexa skill and testing it and getting it up, it's got to be hard. And I'm not really a developer. I know a little bit, but I would never call myself a developer. That disrespects actual developers. I know actual developers, and if I tried to pass myself off as a developer to them, they would laugh in my face, and deservedly so. Deservedly so. That's not my strong suit, and I don't pretend it is. But I've been, I know a little HTML, JavaScript, CSS, etc., all self-taught, just because I want to get better at my trade, right? My trade is digital marketing, and having at least base level programming skills helps. And so in my research, it looked relatively easy because there's great documentation on how to do it. But when you get into the nitty-gritty of setting things up and making sure the experience for whoever uses it is great, I know that's going to be a challenge. And I know I'm going to have to create even more content than I create now, right? If I'm not going to put out an Alexa skill and never update it. I'm not. If I'm going to focus on my blog, my YouTube channel, and an Alexa skill for my content marketing efforts, and I'm going all in on content creation for Shade Digital. If I'm going to focus on those 3 platforms, then I'm going to keep putting out content on those 3 platforms. And at a certain point, you get stretched real thin, right? Real thin, because I've got not only client work to do, but other Shade Digital work to do beyond creating content. So I'm not sure if I want to take on the platform or not. I think the opportunity is huge. I've just got to do it. I've just got to try, right? I've just got to try. I've got to go beyond just looking at the documentation on creating it and just give it a shot. Give it a shot and do it. So I just convinced myself right now that I will 100% publish an Alexa skill, and hopefully it doesn't suck really bad. Hopefully it doesn't suck. It might. Like I said, I'm not a top tier developer. So we'll see where that goes. My brother-in-law is coming down to Florida from Minnesota. He owns a business, a dock and lift business, and I'm pretty sure that we'll end up working together in some capacity. So that would be nice to add another client. There's a synagogue down here in Florida that wants to increase its membership rates. That would be a really neat project. Thinking about taking that on. Gave them a proposal. Hopefully we can make it work. And what was another one? There's a company that does a lot of Forex related stuff, and they're based in Dubai. They're like an investment bank or a VC fund or something like that. talk to their marketing person, and they're debating on what they exactly want to do, but that would be a cool project to take on just because of it's international, right? Oh, and I signed another client. Just signed one yesterday. And so this is for Palm City Products, and they sell wine charms and flasks, primarily on Amazon, but they want to build out their website. And they do actually a significant amount of revenue when you consider it's fucking wine charms, which are like a $10 item. So, I know the guy, great guy who owns it. You literally can't ask for a better guy to work with. And I know my work adds value to a business, and I love it when I can help these people achieve their business goals, achieve their dreams, and the financial aspect that comes behind that. I've watched owners of companies, go from we'll start off at $5,000 a month, and it's just like them and like maybe 2 or 3 other people running this business, and now they're at $25 million a year, and the guy has a new house, and he has a family now, and he's just living the life he wanted to live, and my work contributed to that, and I'm so proud of that. That is awesome, right? That's legacy right there, right? In his mind, hopefully, he will always remember Ryan McDonald and the work that I did to help, right? Because I didn't do it all. And if you say that you grew a company all by yourself, that's a super arrogant thing to say. Unless you're a one-man shop, it's incredibly arrogant, Success is not done in a vacuum, right? Your employees, your contractors, your customers, right? That's why you're successful. That's why if my clients aren't successful, then guess what? Shade Digital's not going to be a success. It's not going to be a $10 million company if we keep doing shit work. Well, if we did shit work for our clients. So success is not in a vacuum. And so I'm glad. I love touching, not touching. I love helping these business owners and being a part of their journey and seeing them go over the long haul from point A to point B in their lives, and the steps that in the middle. The journey is what makes it worth it. And when you think back, it's fun to think back. So, all right, it's been over 30 minutes. I think this is good. So I'm going to end it. But if you enjoyed this podcast or enjoyed this little documentary into starting a digital marketing agency, subscribe, like, share, comment. I love hearing feedback. And if you just passively watch, I don't hear that feedback. So subscribe, like, comment, share. You're the fucking best if you do. All right. And again, this is Ryan McDonald at Shade Digital, and thank you for your time.